All right, quiet on the set.
All right, gotcha.
This weekend SEC football promo. Take 2. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your guy, Mr. Fingers, coming to you live from Zagnif Central.
Hey, and I'm Colin P., your brother from another. What it is, Showbiz?
I will tell you what it is, Showbiz. You guys, welcome to this week's edition of This Week in SEC Football. But before we get started, do us a little favor. If you're watching us on the YouTube, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. We appreciate you much. And if you want to be a contributor to the show, a little something to help the cause, right down there in the bottom, in the lower third, in the crawl, rolling across your screen is the address for our Patreon page. We got some great perks for those of you that are contributors and regular viewers of the show, because we appreciate you so very, very much. So, Colin, my man, I think it's time to get this show started. What you say?
My man, let's lay the hammer down.
Oh, you know we gonna do something before 2 something. Club Shay coming right at you right after this. Oh, hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls.
What Bama does, what Bama do. They were giving Alabama, like Alabama was this. If Alabama didn't lose their 2 stars.
Does not show up that day, or was it?
You watch the same
It's offense more like I've noticed it's more of a passing.
Hey, who knows? It might have been, might have not been. Who knows? But then again, that's what I call it football. I mean,
oh man, that's definitely going on the blooper reel.
when you do that voice, I think of Norbert. Oh my God, we have a dandelion encrusted rib.
Hey, gang, what's going on? What is going on? We are here and we are LIVE live. I am Mr. Fingers coming to you from Zagnif Central in the heart of Oklahoma City. And that fella right over there, that handsome dude, that is the brother from another mother, the sexy Mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place in your face. I am very happy to be here. Colin P. from the DMV. What's good with you, baby?
Hey man, I'm just hanging in there, man. How you been, sir?
I've been pretty good. I've been drinking NASCAR and watching beer. Sorry, I had a Jeff Dunham flashback for a minute. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. Ain't too much going on around here these days. We just doing what we do. But we had a lot pop up over the weekend, so we got a lot to talk about. How about you?
Oh no, man, I've just been working. I just anytime I wake up and I'm vertical, I ain't got nothing really to rap about too much. Just living one day at a time, brother.
Yeah, man, I hear you, brother. I look, it has been so hot. Look, I got the old man status now where I got to check my glasses and make sure they're clean every 25 minutes. And I don't have no eyeglass clean. I always got to keep an eyeglass clean. Look, you have gotten a middle-aged status when you keep an eyeglass cleaning cloth on you. When you little, you just run the bathroom and use that or horrible, scratchy toilet paper to tear up your glasses. Your mom talking about, why your glasses scratched up? I just bought them 3 months ago. I don't know. I clean them all the time. Yeah, no, I got the good stuff that they give you. The good stuff they give you at the eye doctor.
Oh yeah. Well, back then they were like the plastic that you would just scratch your fingernail, scratch them.
Oh well, yeah. These are plastic too, but these are scratch coated and all that good stuff. So
yeah.
Hopefully, I've had these for over a year now, so we should be in good shape. We should be in very good shape. Very good shape. Very good shape. Yes, indeed. So I'm just sitting here. I'm just trying to track what's going on right now with the old Facebook, so I can keep track of the comments that are popping out. Oh, that's not even the one. Lord have mercy, that's not even the one. I thought I was live right now. Oh, hold on. Lord have mercy. I'm still in the Facebook group. I'm still in the This Week in the SEC group, not on my own page.
Oh,
they don't even make no doggone sense. Y'all bear with me. There we go. Now I'm there. Now
we cooking with grease.
Now we cooking. Now, man, we from the South. We cooking with Crisco. You know how we do. You know how we do. We do something for 2 something. Yeah, hey, don't play. Look here, man. Remember my dudes to get that pork belly and cut that heavy part of the fat off and melt that down and cook everything in it, and then make bacon out the rest of it. Make that real thick.
I'll do you one better. I'll do you. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do you one better. Every time you have bacon for breakfast, Mom always put that bacon grease in a bowl and put it in the refrigerator. So that's
we had a ceramic bowl with a top on it that sat beside the stove, and anytime Mom cooked, just a little bit just go right in there.
Yes, sir.
And Lord have mercy, do not mess up and put fish grease in with the bacon grease. That was a whooping.
Oh no! Oh my God!
See, y'all youngsters don't know nothing about keeping the bacon grease and the fish grease on the side of the stove. We used to get whooped for that, boy.
Absolutely.
You waste my doggone good grease. My mother sounds nothing like that. Nothing like Cat Williams. That's just the closest approximation I can do of my mother's voice there. This shirt won't stay buttoned. I feel like there we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Look, in 2 minutes I went from hey girl, how you doing? Hey girl, what's up? How you doing? Why don't you go ahead and drop them digits on me too? And now the news. Anyway.
And now the news.
So hope you guys are doing okay out there in podcast land. There's been a lot going on in the SEC, not only SEC but college football this week. There's been a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we're going to get into that. But before we do that, we're just going to go ahead and jump into this right now. I need to put this out here. We do have a sweep. We do. That wasn't supposed to happen, but that sound effect was real cool. We do have a sweep. I got excited for it. We do still have the sweepstakes going. Zagnif Apparel is giving you the opportunity to win free athletic gear, as the thing says. And this guy right here is going to tell you how. He might sound a little bit like somebody you know. Be right back.
Zagnif Productions, in association with Zagnif Apparel, gives you the opportunity to win free athletic gear. And here's how you do it. Visit the Zagnif Apparel Design Shop at Etsy.com. Purchase any piece of apparel that will automatically qualify you for the August 7th drawing for free apparel. Each purchase counts as one entry. No limit on the number of entries allowed. At least one lucky winner will win one free outfit. That's right, one free top, one free bottom. Note, the embroidered bomber jackets will not be regarded as prizes for this sweepstakes. July 30th is the last day to enter. So get to the Zagnif Apparel Design Shop at Etsy.com today for your chance to win free athletic gear, courtesy of Zagnif Apparel, in conjunction with Zagnif Productions, LLC.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, your opportunity to win free athletic gear, courtesy of Zagnif Apparel. You have from now until the 30th of the month. All you got to do is buy yourself one piece that enters you in the sweepstakes. You can do multiple purchases. Each purchase counts as an individual entry. So that's what we got. That's what we got going on with that from Zagnif Apparel. So, my man, you ready to jump into this, brother?
Absolutely. I was gonna say that stuff looks really good, man. That apparel looks really, really good.
And let me tell you, this is not me hyping my own, pumping my own, tooting my own horn, but the apparel is very comfortable. The shirts are comfortable. The joggers are real comfortable. Every lady that has bought a pair of leggings swears that they're awesome. The shoes are really cool looking. What's not cool about it, even if it's not an actual Chuck Taylor, what's not cool about a nice looking pair of Chuck Taylors? And they got my logo on. So there you go. So run over there and get yourself a pair today. You might get an opportunity to win yourself some free stuff at August the 7th. So and I got smart. I started putting the address right there on the screen. It's in the bottom corner over there underneath Colin. I can't get both my fingers and point in the same direction. Right there, Etsy.com/shop/Zagnif Apparel Design. Or you can hit the QR code in the corner. Either one of them, take you right there. Pow. Get you right there. So let's get into it, my friend. We got stuff going on. Had a bunch of stuff going on this week. Where are we here? All right. Well, we can't get away from this one right here. This has been the talk of college football since. Think about this. It has only been 1 year and 10 days since this came into effect, and it has blown all the way up. Those of you that have been watching with regularity, you saw the little clip that we posted yesterday. It was just the first part of June when I said, "Oh, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, these kids will be making $3 or $4 million." Well, if you missed it on Saturday, I guessed it on a show. No, it was Friday evening. I guessed it on North Sports Dynasty with a friend of the Let's Talk Football family, Mr. Andrew Foobes Faubert. Hey, Foobes, what's going on? We talked about this, and Jalen Rashada has a $9.5 million NIL deal.
Mm-hmm.
He has not graduated high school yet. He does not graduate high school until next year. He has a $9.5 million NIL deal.
Yep.
And yes, that does seem like a whole lot of money. It is a whole lot of money. That is as much money as Nick Saban made last year for coaching the Alabama Crimson Tide. That is more money than Coach Mario Cristobal will make for coaching at Miami this year, I believe. He's making more money than about 75% of the Division I coaches out there. He's also making more money right now on that NIL deal than Trevor Lawrence is making in his rookie campaign as the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chew on that for a minute.
Well, I'm saying like that was a good, when you threw Nick Saban's name out there, saying how much money that's 1 year of Saban's coaching salary that a kid from high school, not even finished graduating from high school, has not set foot on a collegiate football field, is getting that money. It's just it's insane.
It is. It absolutely is. We've been saying this all along. Put a cap on it. Do something with it. Do something with it.
What gets me is how do they come up with him being worth that? I mean, like, what has he done? I mean, aside from high school, I mean, I guess they has done nothing. Like, what
for his high school, everything. For the college, he plans to attend, and the boosters that plan to spend money on tickets and VIP packages and merchandise and dumping money into the athletic department, specifically the football program, zero.
Yeah,
they're giving him
essentially it's like going to Vegas. Essentially, it's like going to Vegas and playing roulette. You know what I'm saying? They're going in there and throwing something, throwing up something over sticks. I mean, like, you're giving this kid millions of dollars, not knowing what's going to pan out. What's to say his freshman year in college, he blows his knee out or something like that? What happens? I mean, I'm sure there'll be a clause probably in a contract he signed or whatever.
The thing that's funny about the NILs is that I haven't been able to find a one yet anywhere that says these are the stipulations, yada, yada, yada. I'm sure if I do a deep dig, I could find one somewhere. I'm not on Reddit. Those Redditors are on it. They probably have the information. I haven't.
I'm sound like a hater, but I mean, hey, kudos to him getting that 9.5. But I mean,
well, yeah, at 17 years old,
yeah.
But at 17 years old with $9.5 million, listen, there's a reason why we hear tragic stories about child stars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there aren't too many people that start out as child stars that don't wind up having some sort of issue somewhere, whether it's a substance abuse problem or alcohol dependency problem or multitude of other things. Parents fighting over the money, parents trying to have parents trying to have right. Sorry, parents trying to declare you as crazy and putting you under a conservatorship until you almost 40 years old. Then by the time you get off the conservatorship, you think you are crazy. All kinds of things. So, I mean, it's a slippery slope. I do think that these kids need to make something, but I think $9.5 million is way too much.
Yeah, man. They need to make something, But I mean, it's just who's to decide that monetary value? You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you. That's way overextending the payment to those kids.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let's think about this thing. We keep everybody, the question that a lot of people are asking is, how did we go from there to here so quickly? Well, I'm gonna break it down for you. I did a little digging. So it was 3 years ago. This September will make 3 years since California became. Remember when California said college athletes can be paid for their name, image, and likeness? Okay.
Mhm.
He called it, Governor Gavin Newsom called it the Fair Pay to Play Act. And it was supposed to take effect next year. And later, and then it became accelerated to September 2021 because it caught so much steam and everybody jumped on the bandwagon. That was in September. Well, then in October, 1 month later, 20 other states jumped on the bandwagon. So the NCAA was like, well, at the NCAA was like, well, let's get together and figure out some NIL rules and come up with them by January 2021.
Right.
So June of 2020, Florida passed a law that said that NIL rights could be granted to college athletes with an effective date of July 1st, which was the earliest of any state.
Mm-hmm.
Then the NCAA says, we're not going to come up with any rules. And they just said there were antitrust concerns. The U.S. Department, the government's got some antitrust concerns. Well, then Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signs it into law. And then the Supreme Court jumps in, and later on it says unanimously pay the kids. Now, mind you, that's a 2-year timeline. The time for the NCAA to get ahead of this thing was 3 years ago. Yeah. They had 3 years to prepare for this, and they did zero. They did nothing. They didn't get in. They did. Oh well, there's going to be, and we can't come. What it boiled down to is they didn't want to be responsible. They figured. I knew they got together and they figured out more moving parts than they wanted to handle. So they thought they thought that by pushing it off, they would put it on the back burner, and maybe a few states would get they would stay with those few states. Well, it made its way to the Supreme Court, and by then they were scrambling.
Yeah.
By then they were scrambling, and that was during. And this is so June of 2021, right before all of this became in effect. Mark Emmett, the president of the NCAA, testifies before the U.S. Senate, and he asked for Congress to pass a law that would supersede all the other state laws that were passed. And Congress was like, Congress said the states have taken it upon themselves to do what the NCAA has proven incapable of doing. End of quote. That was from Senator Marsha Blackburn. So June 30th. Now, mind you, they've had 2 years to fight this thing. The night before everything comes into effect, the NCAA comes out and says, well, yeah, it's okay. It's whatever. The next day, the very next day, students were signing deals. The first notable one was University of Texas. Shocker. They got a bunch of money that gave their offensive linemen $50,000 each in annual financing, which is ironically enough,
that's more in line with what we thought, right?
What was the magic number I said that they needed to get paid a piece?
I don't remember.
Don't make me dig it up. I think it was right about. I think it was right about $50,000.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think it was around there, but that's understandable in my eyes. You know what I mean? And I think most people's eyes. That I think that's more in line of what it should be. You know?
Yeah. So now it was up. With all that was going on, come this past February, the NCAA says, "Oh, we'll look at we'll start reviewing how NIL is affecting recruiting and other aspects of sports." Come on, NCAA, you know good and hell well that a lot of these kids are picking where they're going because they want to go where they can get the most money. There was a kid at Florida State that decided he was going to sit out because he wasn't making enough NIL money. I've been saying that. I've been telling that story over and over and over and over again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If the NCAA had jumped in and gotten in on this, what the NCAA is doing is the equivalent of those folks that Zuckerberg talked to said, "I'm going to call it Facebook," and they were like, "You out of your mind, man. MySpace is going to be around forever." It's the equivalent of the people that said, "You're doing what? You doing what? What is that you call it?" Lord, You do what? Bitcoin. What's that? Oh man, you out your mind. Bitcoin will never take off. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's like the people that told Henry Ford, that old Model T will never go anywhere, and the T stands for trash. The NCAA had all opportunity to get ahead of this thing, and they went, nope. They really just went, we don't want to do anything. We just hope the government will stop it. And the government didn't. And now here we are.
I mean, they put the pedal to the metal and pushed it on through. And, at the very least, and you and I talked about this, at the very least, they should have put some kind of, I wouldn't say a regulating factor, but some kind of committee, like we talked about before, for these kids and financial advisors or something to that nature. I mean, if they didn't want to stop it, I'm like you though. They were fully convinced that it was going to, it was going to be stopped in the long run. And
they were 100% convinced that Congress was going to say, no, we're not going to let y'all do that.
So, I mean, like 3 years, I mean, and even still now, I mean, the NCAA or the colleges themselves should have that kind of committee or have that kind of, board.
Well, the colleges aren't. Come on, man. You think the colleges are really going to do something like that with all that money? Think about that kid that's coming into Miami, Jalen Rashada.
Yeah.
He's coming into Miami. You know how packed the stadium is going to be now, because the fans off the top are going to go, this kid must really be something because they're paying him $9.5 million.
Do you think that's true though? I mean, do you honestly think that's true? Like, I mean, a kid's getting, like I said. No, but I mean, he may be a stud, and I mean, is he from Florida? I think he is from Florida, right? Like he's coming out of even high school.
He's not from Florida, no.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know there'll be such a fanfare for him just because he's getting paid 9.5. And if there is, I mean, look at the flip side of that. What if he gets out there and he gets smoked?
I'll put it to you like this. Do you not think that the ratings went up on Chiefs games the last, not this past season, but the season before, just because Patrick Mahomes got a $500 million deal on the heels of a Super Bowl victory? The Chiefs gave him $500 million. You don't think everybody in Kansas City was watching those games just to see if he was worth the $500 million? Plus, sports fans all across the.
But didn't he? You just said it, on the heels of a Super Bowl, right?
Right, but my point is that he got a whole bunch of money.
Right.
So now people that might not have been paying attention started paying attention. They were like, let me see if this guy is really worth this $500 million.
I can see that. I guess I can see that. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I keep saying you dig what I'm saying. Like I'm an old cat from the 70s. You dig?
You understand me?
Yeah, right.
You know who that is, don't you?
Man. I'm not going there with you today, Mr. Pashew. Hey, yeah. Your boy threw that. Your boy threw your last name out there yesterday. He's like, you the first person to get it right.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. I do that day. That was amazing. Never happened.
But the Canadians also do. They got that French culture too. So he's right.
Well, yeah. I didn't think about that. You're absolutely right, because he saw that spelling and he's like, yeah, that's French.
Yeah. Well, his last name is French too. I think Faubert. I wonder how many people call him Faubert.
Faubert.
Yeah. Hey, is this for Ernie? No, this for Bert. Anyway, we're back. Yeah. So I mean, so now you're going to have a bunch of skeptical Miami fans that are going to be watching or going to the games, because it's just listen. One thing that Americans are good for is sheer morbid curiosity. We will check something out of sheer morbid curiosity. You understand what I mean? That's why. Remember when NYPD Blue had such a big kerfuffle because they showed a naked man's backside while he was taking a shower, and everybody rushed to watch the reruns or watch their VCRs that they had taped. So it's morbid curiosity. People are going to buy tickets or watch it. Like, their ratings are gonna go up just because that kid is going there. Just like the whole thing with Arch Manning. Texas, all eyes will be on Texas and Miami. Not this coming season, but next season. Watch what I tell you.
Yeah, I'm still wondering why he actually didn't. He had an offer from Florida first, right? Didn't he have a offer from Florida with more money? And he turned it down to go to Miami, right?
Well, supposedly his agent got involved and kind of steered him away from it, and they're looking into that right now.
Oh, that's right. I saw that article. He said I would never. I think he didn't have any nice things to say about Florida. I think so. That's very true.
There's our boy. Hey, Sean, if you were commenting, don't be mad that we didn't put him up and we didn't shout you out. It just took a minute for your comments to come through. And yes, like you said, on the heels of a Super Bowl victory. And that's exactly what Colin said. And I don't have a problem. Again, I don't have an issue with that. Mahomes won a Super Bowl. He was a young quarterback come in. He was doing stuff that people couldn't figure out how to shut him down. Yeah. They won a Super Bowl. And so on the heels of that, the Chiefs rewarded him with a $500 million deal, which made everybody else go, for real though?
Yeah.
But
on the flip side of that, this kid, you have no reference for him. I mean, like you're just like throwing cash at him when he's actually going to be moving from a different type of football playing, period. I mean, there's going to be a lot more players that would that are actually very talented and have that are a lot better than you played in high school. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's the only thing I'm saying. Like, it's just throwing against the wall and making sense. I understand that people will be interested and intrigued by saying why. I mean, there must be a reason why they're giving this guy 9.5, right? There's got to be a reason. I want to go see it. But,
right, and there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of that. Like the first, let's say they go on a tear, they win 4 straight, and he shows out. People, the viewership is going to increase, and ticket sales are probably going to go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
so because everybody else is gonna, Martin Lawrence said a long time ago, run tell that. There's gonna be a bunch of people running back and telling that, yo, this kid's phenomenal. Yo, he juked like the whole defense and ran 300 yards just to score a 60-yard touchdown. And then he threw a 70-yard touchdown bomb off his back foot and bounced off the referee's head, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And so
he threw a pass to himself, he scored a touchdown by himself. He threw the ball up in the air and ran and catch it.
Yeah. And they also have a Heisman hopeful in Van Dyke as well. So, I mean, you got that combination of things going on there. Shout out to our guy, Sean Spencer, who is in the comments today, always holding it down. We like to refer to him as the godfather of Let's Talk Football, whereas Janae Strother would be the godmother. The two of them founded Let's Talk Football, which has evolved into I counted it, Sean, and if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. But with the Let's Talk Football programs and the affiliate programs, I think it's 11 or 12 programs total. Like the Nick Saban coaching tree. It has evolved into a lot of shows. There is something on just about every night of the week, especially during football season. You will not lack for football news. And that guy right there, matter of fact, he's the reason why we're sitting here talking to you guys right now, because we hadn't even remotely thought about doing the show. I hadn't thought about it. He talked to me, and it was me and him, and he was like, "What about your guy Colin? He's a Georgia fan." And I was like, "Yo, Colin," and he was like, "I've never done it before." Now you in here like old pro.
Well, it's funny because he and I were going back and forth through Facebook Messenger, and we were talking about that same thing you were just saying, and I was like, "I'll never forget how you hoodooed me, man. We were here talking." We'll do a dry run. He's like, "We're going live in 5." I'm like, "What the hell?"
Not the hoodoo. He got you with the hoodoo.
Yeah, man. But you got me, and hey, it worked out well. I think. I mean, it was fun. It is fun. Trust me.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, breaking news out of Texas.
We're back.
The lie detector test proved that was a lie. No, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Quinn Ewers has got some work to do this year, so we'll see what goes on, because he's got one season to do what he needs to do before Arch shows up. But we didn't want to get into the Arch Manning talk. I think we're finally, for now, on the back end of it, on the back end of all the Arch Manning news, at least until football season starts, because then every news reporter and their brother is going to be down at every single one of his games at the host of the Immaculate Conception, or whatever the school is, name of it, that he goes to. So anyway, what's that?
No, you're good.
Okay, I thought you were going to contribute something, my friend. I didn't want to step on you in the conversation. Those of you that are just joining us,
you said we were done talking about it. You said you were done talking about it, so I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Those of you that are just now tuning in, if you are watching us live right now, if you're watching the replay, if you are listening to the podcast, hello, hey, how are you doing? We appreciate you guys joining us for this week in SEC Football Season 2, Episode 11. I am Mr. Figures. That is Colin P. from the DMV. I only run through all of your names at the front and the back of the show, not during the middle. Because
that's fine. I kind of feel like Tiger Woods when he gets on the first tee of the golf tournaments he plays in. How many times all the trophies he's won, the tournaments he's won, but the amount of names I have.
They got to run through. They got to run through all of those real quick.
And at one time, that Phil Mickelson was like, "All right, that's enough.
That's enough already." Well, listen, we're gonna take a brief pause for the cause, mainly because I want to see Mr. Spencer to see our brand new pause for the cause video that we came up with, and we will be right back. But first, a word from another of our sponsors. Hey, that's our guy Sydney Swinton, one third of Sunday Morning with the Swintons. He and his wife Ash host a Sunday morning show. They have a little their popular segment, Mrs. Swinton's Pop Quiz, and they also have Morning Vitamin. They give us some good Sunday morning football talk real early on a Sunday, especially even during the off seasons. And that is Sydney's business. Squid Rips Cards. He's on TikTok a couple of times a week. At the name at Squid Rips Cards. Get at our guy Sydney today. You see his name down there in the crawl also. So we're gonna take a brief pause for the cause, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, boy. You see how through that Bama does what Bama do on the back end, right?
Yeah,
I had to do that.
I like that.
Got to give Colin his. Got to give Colin his. Got to let Colin get his, man.
That was an inaugural show, man. That's when it came out. The first show I ever did. That's when it came out.
Bama does what Bama do, and that is the truth to this day. And although right now they're not doing a whole lot, except Nick is. I hear tell Nick is running his boys in the ground because he wants that national. He wants that national championship this year. Off topic because we didn't plan on talking about this. Serious question: what do you think is the realistic probability? You like that, huh? You like that? You like that? That's just for you. That look, I had to give you the throwback from when you actually used to like Kirk there. So yeah, appreciate that, Sean. Good looking out, man. What do you think is a realistic probability that old Saint Nick retires if he wins a national championship this coming season? What do you think is a realistic probability that
you know what's funny? I was going to ask you the same thing, and honestly, I'm telling you, we right here. But no, it was the same question I was going to ask. Me personally, I don't know. I mean, like honestly, I'm still trying to figure out. I know what more he can accomplish aside from winning one more national championship. I mean, he's got all the accolades he could possibly, ever want. But I mean, like he is a football coach, and I mean, there's always room for one more. To answer your question, though, I say if he wins it, I think he's gone. I actually think he will retire if he wins one more. Now, saying that, if he loses, if we by some way or say if we win another one, and if we play them and beat them again, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on him leaving or staying on that because I mean, that still may be a thorn that he that may get him to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like I think if he wins, he's gone.
Well, yeah, he's won Coach of the Year. I don't know how many times. He's won national championships at 2 different schools. He's got Heisman Trophy winners out the wazoo. He's put more players into the NFL than any other program in the last 16 years.
Sure.
He has, God, what else has he done? He's put more NFL players in the last 16 years. He has helped Alabama jump far way and ahead of everybody in terms of number of conference titles. I don't
he
think
beat Bear, didn't he? Didn't he beat Bear Bryant record? Or
I don't know if he's past Bear yet or not, because Bear coached for Bear was a head coach for a long time.
I thought he was very close. I thought he was fairly close.
I think he's getting there. We went over that, I think, last season, and I don't have those notes in front of me. He's probably getting close, but remember, Bear Bryant coached in an era where a coach could be at a school for 30 years like it was nothing. You know what I mean? Think about Joe
Daryl. Guaranteed if we had our boy Daryl there, he'd know.
He'd be like, but our buddy Daryl, he talks real quiet. He said, yeah, Nick Saban was coach. He became a coach in 2006. He's got 174.6 wins. And Bear Bryant has 348.8 wins. Don't ask me how we got the 0.8 when they actually played whole games, but that's exactly how many. So Nick would have to coach and win perfect seasons for the next 16 years in order to pass Paul Bear Bryant in his houndstooth hat and his seersucker jacket as he waited to coach in the history of Alabama football. That's how our boy talks for real.
That is spot on. But he'll let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you something. And they'll preface it with that. But I love talking to him. Like, you understand what I'm saying? You're from the South.
Yeah.
You're from the South. You understand what I'm saying?
His other favorite argument is, Coach Richt is a good coach. But do you want a guy who builds men or you want a coach that wins national championships? What do you want?
I've heard that from him.
180 times. 180 times. But guess what? Mark Richt set the foundation for the house that Kirby has built, and Kirby has taken the keys and gone on with it. Yeah. So let's keep this thing moving on along here. There's been a whole bunch of hopping around with the conferences. USC and UCLA just definitely set things on fire by announcing that they would be moving over to the Big Ten Conference in 2024, 1 year ahead of when Texas and OU moved to the SEC, which set off a chain of events into what that's all I've seen is what conferences are going to collapse and how other conferences are going to survive and what teams are going to go from what conferences to what conferences. I mean, even as recently as this weekend, we heard that Clemson, UVA specifically, I forgot what other teams, but Clemson and UVA, those are the two big ones that were in talks. North Carolina, I believe it was, that were in talks with the SEC to come over to the SEC. But Commissioner Greg Sankey put all of that to a stop today. He came out and he said, quote, "We're positioned at 16 teams for a robust future." I'm sorry. He didn't say that. It was an athletic director. The need just isn't there. And Commissioner Sankey basically backed that up by saying that we're just going to stand pat where we are for right now. I don't know. How do you feel about that, man?
I agree with him. I mean, I think we should stand at 16. I mean, there was a short. Did you actually look at the SEC short I sent you? It was really funny, and it put all this in perspective.
I haven't gotten to it yet. Shout out to SEC shorts. They don't watch us or anything like that. But for those of you that are SEC fan, I don't even know why I'm saying this. I don't know anybody that's a fan of SEC football that doesn't know about SEC shorts. For those of you that don't, there's a team of people that does some hilarious skits about the Southeastern Conference and football, and they put out 1 or 2 a week after every they start filming on Saturday night, and they film early in the Sunday morning so they can get them out by Sunday afternoon. They literally don't start filming those skits till Saturday evening, man.
So when you get a chance, watch it because there was one in Missouri. Missouri's it's kind of like they're doing like an interview there on like an auditorium that guy that usually is the Georgia fan, little short dude. He's in the audience in the chairs and what have you, and then he's just sitting there, and people are just coming in and interviewing. And Missouri's standing there. He said, "You're already in the SEC, right?" He said, "I just want to hear my name." I don't know. You know how I feel about Missouri. So I mean, it just kind of hit me, kind of tickled me funny.
Well, hey, look, Missouri was in my mind a legitimate threat when they had Drew Lock. I mean, not that they were a threat to win the conference, but they were a threat to if you weren't hitting on all 8 cylinders when you hit the gridiron on Saturday. Missouri might get you because Drew Lock did not mess around. We see that unfortunately that has not translated on the NFL field, but he's gotten some playing time, and a lot of people have had some good things to say about him. So that's all we got there.
I mean, I ain't talking too bad, but it was just funny because of the things I said about him in the past. I mean, I don't hate him or nothing. I'm just saying it was just hilarious. They were the last one. They were the last ones in the skit. And he said, "You realize you are in the SEC already. I just want to hear my name."
Well, Greg Sankey really he said he basically summed it up. He's always said that there's more things that need to happen if the other conferences in the other conferences before before the SEC, because everybody's saying the SEC basically has a stranglehold on the playoff.
Whose fault is that?
Not mine. Not yours.
No, not mine or yours. I don't know.
Yeah, so he was saying
hopefully this NIL deals will get you better players and you'll get there. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, so this is what he had to say, and he said it with his whole chest too. He said, "I was sitting there watching the national championship, and I thought they just thought I wasn't serious when I said we could leave it at 4. People apparently didn't take me seriously. I don't think people heard me when I said we were fine with staying at 4. He said the conference will thrive at 4. It's not healthy for the rest of college football, but we can stay at 4.
You can stay at 4. Well, what say you on this situation? You think it's cool at 16, or would you like to see more added? Or I mean, what's the most that you would take, like the final number?
Well, you also have to consider tipping point and devaluation. Although college football has grown into such a juggernaut that I think that people will watch just about anything if it's on, and it's true. Because this year I was watching Thursday this past season, just because of this show. I was watching Thursday games, Friday games, Saturday. I even tried to stay up and watch the late Saturday games, man. I think there might have been a couple of games on Wednesday for some god awful reason. I tried to watch those too. I watched as much college football as I could get my hands on because I didn't want to seem like the dumb kid in the class. Look, anytime I do a show with Sean, I feel like the dumb kid in the class. Because Sean has got like this encyclopedic knowledge. He can walk by the TV. He can walk by the TV twice during the football game, and then come on in the comment section on Monday and be like, "Oh yeah, John Smith threw for 378 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's one he bounced off the referee's head. You remember that one I told you?" Yeah, he's like, so I don't want to feel like the dumb kid in the class. So I have to make sure I study.
See, I think Sean be the one like those diehard soccer fans that get up in the morning like 2, 3 in the morning to watch a football game. Like some of those soccer fans get up in the morning, like the middle of the morning.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Sean. I'm not sure. That's what Greg Sankey, the commissioner, was saying that people were saying about the SEC and the playoffs. That was him saying that's what other people were saying. So yeah. But the SEC has decided now. To me, I think at some point there becomes a devaluation if you add too many, and the reason why is part of it is rivalries. I know people are really hung up. Well, I won't say hung up on, but that's a big argument. Is we're going to lose our rivalries, and like there's a way that you can set up a schedule. You can set up your schedule so that you still have your rivalries. I mean, Georgia still plays Georgia Tech every year. Georgia's been playing Georgia Tech forever. They still play Georgia Tech every year, even though they went from 10 games because they played a 10-game season the year we won the national championship in 1980. They played a 12-game season this year. They still played Florida. They still played Georgia Tech. Now, granted, that only added 2 games to their schedule. But the conference has since expanded to 16. If you're talking about expanding it to 20, that means there's some games that are just not going to get played every year.
Yeah.
Especially if they do away with the divisions. Although if they expand that large, they're going to have divisions.
So not to get too much off, since you mentioned Florida, about the Georgia-Florida game, there's been conversation about doing a home and home. What's your feelings?
That should have been, dude.
Huh?
It should have been a home and home forever.
Okay, you don't think it's succeeded? You shouldn't stay in Jacksonville?
Well, the biggest thing about it is, yeah, neutral site game in Florida. Granted, it's close enough to where Georgia fans will make the trip for that game. Okay,
sure, yeah,
but it's still a neutral site game in Florida.
Yep,
that's just like our neutral site game against Oregon, 45 minutes down the road from the campus of the University of Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
At Mercedes. No,
how many Oregon fans you think are going to make that trip?
I don't know how well they travel. I mean, you know how good we travel. I mean, like if it was in Oregon, I wouldn't doubt half the stadium would be red and black. But I don't know about them though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read this out loud, because this sounds like one of the things that one of your uncles will tell you that you what the uncle say? So I got to read it out loud. When you love it, this is for my boy Sean. When you love it, you live it. Every inch of college football is beautiful, but to truly love, you have to love all of it, the winless and the undefeated. Well, you need to tell that to the folks at Vanderbilt, Sean. Now that I've read it out loud, I know what you're trying to say. You need to tell that to the folks at Vanderbilt. They start leaving after the first kickoff.
Yeah, I mean,
it is a rare thing that you will ever watch a Vanderbilt game on national television and see crowd shots full of people past the first 6 minutes of the first quarter. Unless they're playing Tennessee at home, in which case there's a whole bunch of people in the stands throwing mustard on the field. But I digress. So that's where we are now. My thing I did answer your question about that. I'm not opposed to it. I just hope it doesn't get to a point where it turns into too much to handle. Like there's going to have to be some serious planning that needs to take place in the next couple of years, because I can see Greg Sankey maybe backing up and saying, well, we'll take 2 more. You know what I mean? Like the doorman at the club that lets 10 people in and then cuts it off in front of you, who's been in line since like 7 o'clock, and now it's 10 and you still ain't in the club. And then 10 minutes later, he comes back like, all right, you two, come on. So that's kind of what I look at the SEC as, is like, nah, you guys cannot come in our treehouse. You guys cannot play with us. This is our fort.
Like you ain't pretty enough.
Yeah. So that is where we are with that, man. Those of you just joining us, welcome to This Week in SEC Football. I am Mr. Figures from Zach Davis Central. That is Colin P. from the DMV, the brother from another. We appreciate you joining us today. They need to add the other one on there. That's supposed to be the air horn, but air horn is not the air horn. But it's not the same.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you joining us. We just now wrapping up talking about the SEC standing pat at 16 teams after much speculation that they would be adding 4 more teams to include Clemson and the University of Virginia. So that leads us to our next topic. And before we go another further, we also want to thank the rest of our sponsors today, that being DJG Enterprises, GreekGans.com, Envision Social Media, and 1906tees.com. All 3 wonderful sponsors, in addition to Squid Rips Cards. We appreciate you all for being sponsors of This Week in SEC Football. If you want to be a sponsor, hit us up. Let us know. We'll take Cash App. We'll take Venmo. We'll take PayPal. No, we won't take Facebook Pay because there's too many hackers in the Facebook Pay. But we'll take anyone.
Master Chef or Visa. No Master Chef or Visa.
Master Chef or Visa? Okay. I like that. The Hefeweizen. Anyway, so despite all of that, there's still all this speculation about what conferences are going to survive. We know the Big Ten is going to really come out of this unscathed, and they really have added some value in adding UCLA and USC. So what conferences do you see, Colin, that wind up after the dust clears, what do you think the landscape is going to look like? You think the Pac-12 is going to survive? You think the Big 12 is going to survive? There's even been some talk about Pac and Big merging and forming their own super conference. So what do you think?
I don't know, man. I mean, all this has been throwing me for a loop. I mean, I really haven't paid too much attention, except recently, with a couple of teams trying to jockey, and then everybody trying to come to the SEC. It's gonna be hard. Don't you think it's gonna be hard to survive for the Pac-10 to survive when people leave it like that? I mean, don't you think people are gonna follow suit? Like if colleges actually
if they can, because think about it. Think about it. The two biggest teams in the Pac-10 are gone, and those are the two with the two biggest, longest, and most storied traditions. With the exception of Stanford, with the game where the play was not over and he ran into the band on the field. But what other teams, like, who's going to tune in to watch Stanford or Oregon State? Utah is making a big push right now. They're a couple 3 more years of, I did say couple 3, I'm from the South. A couple 3 more years of some play like they played the last couple of seasons. They should become a little more buzzworthy as the fan base increases. Yeah. But you got smaller schools now. You got smaller D1 schools now that are trying to do things like build bigger stadiums and have bigger facilities, just to make them more attractive destinations. I mean, look at what they're doing at UCF. They're trying to expand their stadium just so they can get to Power 5 status. Because there's certain things, I think it's academics and the size of your facilities and things of that nature. So I don't know, man. I honestly,
doesn't that open it up? Doesn't Texas and Oklahoma leaving? Sorry about my chair. We talked about that before the show. With Oklahoma and Texas leaving, doesn't that open it up for the next teams in line that were having trouble, beating those two teams?
For Oklahoma State, absolutely.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. I was definitely going to miss him. Yeah, I was going to miss him.
Gundy. Gundy definitely brought those boys up this year. I mean, they won Bedlam. They won Bedlam.
So those other teams out of the way, it gives them straight shot to win their conference. Or have a great shot at it.
Oh, you're 100% right. But as we know, it's all about the Benjamins, man. It's all about the money, and everybody's trying to run to the conferences with more money. Sean is saying, and a bunch of people are watching, it's good football, regardless of where they rank or who gets all the money. It's a damn shame, but money runs things. And you're right. It's the truth. Sorry about that, Sean. On our platform, I think we have to upgrade up one more level before we can get all platforms and show comments. So, yeah, I can see your Facebook comment, but I cannot. It doesn't come to me for me to post it. Foobs is in the building. What's up, brother? It's going to come down to money. And for the Pac-12, the two teams in the largest market are leaving and going to another conference after this year. So the thought process was that somebody needs to look into tapping the conferences that are looking at how they're going to survive needs to start tapping into the ACC, because the next biggest television markets are the Carolinas and Virginia.
Right.
The Carolinas and Virginia.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you got Texas, obviously. You got Texas, you got Los Angeles, you got Dallas, you got Los Angeles, you got New York City. After that, that's not that the television markets that are not in the SEC, North Carolina and Virginia. Yeah. And that's what these conferences are looking to snag, is these people with these large television markets. Because, I mean, dude, money talks. Wesley Snipes said a long time ago, money talks, the BS runs a marathon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think? What do you think about the fact that, I mean, just think about the fact that ESPN is trying to void their contract?
Yeah, I mean that speaks volumes, doesn't it? I mean, it's just like it came from like all the conferences getting their own channel to like ESPN kind of like voiding their contracts with other conferences,
Yeah, you're right about
I mean, we got a Big Ten network, you got ACC network, you got SEC network, you got I'm not sure about the Pac. I don't think they have any kind of network.
Yeah,
I believe they do.
Yeah, you got Big Ten, you got ACC, you got SEC, you got Big 12, and you got a Pac-12. All of the Power Fives have their own networks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't expect ESPN to be funneling money in there. When the teams are jockeying or moving to different.
Yeah, well, ESPN is still the cash cow, especially since one of the smartest things ESPN did is when the colleges started and then the NBA teamed up with TNT. One of the smartest things ESPN did was hitch their wagon to the NFL and then tie themselves to ABC because ABC and Disney got together, and Disney prints their own money. So that was one of the smartest things that ESPN did. And now ESPN is in a position as part of the ABC Disney family of networks. They're in a position where they can go, we're not going to dump all this money into your conference if nobody's going to be watching your games.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. That's where the money comes in, for sure.
Yeah. So Notre Dame, ad nauseum, again, that's the name we hear more than any. Notre Dame said, we're going to wait this thing out and see how things go. And the ACC has put the kibosh on bringing over, was it ACC or was it Big Ten? One of those two said, we're going to hold off on bringing over these Pac-12 teams until we see what Notre Dame does. So Notre Dame is basically holding the big joker. They're at the spades table holding the big joker.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Notre Dame could feasibly think about it. Notre Dame has not won a national championship since Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
And they still have some of the biggest ratings of any football program in Division I. Notre Dame could feasibly sit out the conference hopping, not join a conference, and still be okay.
Yeah. That's crazy.
One of the few schools that probably could pull that off. As far as schools where sports is king, it's one of the few schools that could actually pull that off.
Aren't they the only independent, or are there other independents?
Oh no, there's a whole conference full of independents, but they don't.
So have an independent conference.
They don't have it. They don't necessarily have a conference championship per se, because like the military academies are included in that.
Right.
All that stuff.
I just think it's kind of crazy they can pick and choose. Like, no, we don't want to be part of this. We're gonna wait.
But then during the COVID short season, they're like, we gonna play in the ACC.
Right. I mean, to that point, do you think they should be forced to pick a conference or to join a conference? I mean, I don't know how.
I don't think so, but I think that the way that the conference alignments are going, if they continue, it's funny that there's been so much speculation, but right now all we really have that we have confirmed is OU, Texas to the SEC, and USC, UCLA to the Big Ten. But if things keep going along this route, Notre Dame will wind up having to join a conference, because eventually, once all the larger conferences are set, they're going to get together and sit down at the table, and they're either going to agree to disagree, and they're going to have their own little championships, or they're going to sit down at the table and they're going to come up with some kind of handshake deal. They're going to put it on paper, and they're going to revamp the entire college football playoff. And part of that playoff is probably going to require that you are a member of one of the conferences, one of the super conferences that Notre Dame has refused to be part of.
Right.
So we'll see. But as far as money is concerned, money and ratings, all you have to do is say Notre Dame. Like, what did they do? I mean, I find myself, I could be listening and they could be talking about a whole bunch of gobbledygook on ESPN, and they say Notre Dame, and it immediately gets my attention just because it's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So,
with you.
And the biggest thing again is the money. Like we said, we talked about the money. I meant to put this in our banner. But if you don't believe that money is the answer, this list was, I'm trying to find the source, but this list was posted earlier today in one of the groups that I follow, and it talks about the top 10 college football teams in terms of football value. And I only wrote down the figures for the top 3. But coming in at number 6, the returning national champions, the Dogs of UGA. Coming at number 5, Notre Dame. That right there is why Notre Dame will be able to go, no, we don't need your conference. I mean, we might decide to join when we actually want to play for a championship, if you guys decide to circle the wagons. But right now, we're good. Number 4 is Michigan. Number 3 is Alabama. They had a recorded revenue, and this was in 2018 was when this was, of $140,831,439 and was valued at $1.009 billion.
Gracious. Man. And they're number 3?
That's number 3. Number 2 is Ohio State. As we know, Ohio State has a enormous fan base all over the country. As a matter of fact, I got 2 or 3 coworkers that are OSU graduates here in little old Oklahoma. 136 now. The revenue doesn't count as far as their rankings, just their worth. It's $136,574,384 with a total overall football value of $1.048 billion.
Wow.
Anybody watching want to take a stab at who number 1 was? We'll give you a couple of seconds because we know there's a delay from the time we put the question out there till now. You don't have to think too hard about it. Nobody?
I'm trying
Bueller?
You caught me off guard with the Alabama being 3 and then Ohio State not even being number 1.
Bueller? Nobody? Can I give you a
USC?
hint?
Go ahead.
Can I give you a hint?
Oh, well, there you go. Yep. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's the University of Texas at $163,928,296 in revenue and $1.1 billion in revenue value. Now, I tried to look and see, based on this article, how that was calculated. I don't know. It's got to have something to do with revenue to total value or something like that. Some finance guru will be able to say, "Oh, it's just that the recurring value, the regurgitating stock, and all that stuff."
Yeah,
but yeah. So think about that. There are 3 college football programs in this country that are worth $1 billion a piece in terms of total football value. That is why the SEC, even though Texas is not that great, has not been so great pretty much since Vince Young left. I mean, they've been okay here and there, but they've not been anywhere near those days. That's why the SEC was like, "Why, sure, Texas, you can come right on over and bring your $1.1 billion.
Bring your checkbook over here. Yeah, we'll gladly accept you. Come on."
Yeah, that's why they're able to go, "Yeah, sure, we'll bring your biggest rival with you." So not only are we getting your biggest rival and your valuation, we're getting also the valuation of the most valuable college football franchise in your next door neighbor state in Oklahoma.
Yep. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, then it doesn't make sense. But it's all about the Benjamins, right? I mean, that's all about the money.
Oh, yeah. 100%, man. 180% is what it is. And we've been saying all along, when Oklahoma and Texas jumped, I think a lot of these schools didn't think that anybody else was going to follow suit. Right. But then, too, we also 2 or 3 years ago said they'll never let students get paid for playing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got to have, right? I mean, they're getting paid, but they're getting paid too much money. I mean, what it boils down to. I mean, they're getting paid for the lights, which they should. But I mean, that's just it opens the door up to so many more potential problems giving them that much money.
It does. It 100% does. It 100% does. Well, sir, that brings us to, I think we're going to keep this thing moving on along. That brings us to our final segment of the day. A little segment we like to call our 2-minute warning. Sean, I don't have a cool intro for my final segment, but we'll get one in a little bit. So I can be like all the cool kids in class. The 2-minute warning is essentially the part of the show where we just, share our thoughts on just about anything. It could be something good. It could be something philosophical. and that's generally where we tend to lean towards the side of the philosophical. Mine today is, again, I have circled around this a few times. Tell the people that you have that you appreciate them while you have them, because when they're gone, and you can't bring them back. And the time to say I should have is not after they're gone. Unfortunately, about 6 hours ago or so, I got a phone call from a good friend back in Virginia. When I was an up and coming karaoke host in that area, I did not have any regular gigs. I was a fill-in guy. The company, everybody pretty much was solid at all their locations. So I was a fill-in guy. I was a guy that would work a show here and a show there, or go way out in the sticks where nobody wanted to come when I was doing karaoke. Well, this guy in the heart of Fairfax, Virginia, I covered for him once. I covered for the regular guy once. And he went back to the owner of the company and said, if my regular guy ever leaves, I want that guy back. And the regular guy eventually broke off to start his own company. And I wound up going into that spot, and that spot turned into another spot, and that spot turned into another spot, and that spot turned into another spot. And I wound up being able to make a pretty decent living as a karaoke DJ, which turned into corporate and wedding money, which is way more than karaoke money. Not to knock the karaoke money. I love doing karaoke. It's just weddings, karaoke, big difference. But it's because that guy had enough faith in me to give me my first permanent gig that I was able to. Well, hell, it's because of him that I met you. Yeah. It's because of him that I met my wife. Because I met my wife at a karaoke show. Actually, today is the anniversary of our first date. Some time ago. I ain't gonna put that out there on the airwaves.
There's a little bit ago.
It was a little bit ago. I say that like we've been together 60-something years. We've only been together. We've only known each other for 13. But so yeah, it's because of him and it's because I met this guy. He gave me my gig, which led to me meeting my wife. My wife working where she was working. That we are here in Oklahoma City, and I'm sitting here with you doing a podcast right now. Because if I was still in Virginia, I might not be doing a podcast.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I'm not saying he is responsible for all of those things, but that guy, his name is Harry Demetriou. He's the owner of the Firehouse Grill, which became the old fire station number 3 in Fairfax, Virginia. It's no longer with us, ladies and gentlemen, but he's a great dude, and he always took good care of me, and he will be missed. And kind of bums me out because I was looking forward to seeing him when I go to town. When I go to town next month. Oh, by the way, hit town on the 18th of August. What's up, Mr. Spencer? I expect to see you in the building. I'm going to be not far from you at the Backyard Grill at my homeboy show. You and Kat need to roll on down the street down Centerville Road. Come see your boy. Colin, I'm gonna see you too while I'm in town.
I will definitely be there. I already told Sean about it. We're gonna make it.
Okay, all right, good deal. But that's my 2-minute warning. Just make sure you tell the people that you care about that you appreciate them while you have them. That's it. That's all I got. I'm not gonna go too far down that road. I took a little bit for me to pull myself together to be here today. So
I can imagine. And first off, my condolences, man. I know. I was talking before we got on the show here that how much he meant to you. But yeah, I mean, and he doesn't have to be responsible for your not meeting or the people that come into your life. He just got to be that kind of catalyst. You don't need that one person. He's got to be there just to have that spark or that catalyst, just to put things in motion to where you meet the right people, which obviously he has. Right? So, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of good people around, in your circle, me included. Yeah, I mean, I can echo that sentiment. But what I'm saying is, sometimes, I can speak for myself. Sometimes you can get up in the morning and you just kind of in a ho-hum and a blah, blah attitude. And then, honestly, I just sit there and I snap out of it and I think to myself, like, what really do you got? I mean, you woke up, you're vertical, you're walking around, just thinking, and then I start thinking about all the things that I do have. It helps when I think about things that I do have that some people don't have, and like I don't focus on the stuff you don't have, what you do have, what you're lucky to have in your life. I just sometimes you just need to, or me personally, I need to just reel myself back and just to look at the things I do have and how lucky I am. Even though you think you may have it rough, somebody out there somewhere has it worse than you. No matter what you're going through, somebody's always got it worse. And that's where it goes into what you're saying is like, if you have people that you love, you need to tell them. And I don't know if have you seen that, there's a couple of guys, there's like a TikTok or like a Reels or like a video or something. These guys are out there, they give you $50 or $5 to call your mom or dad and tell them that you love them.
I haven't seen
board. It says $50 to call your mom or your dad or something, a loved one, and tell them that you love them. And then the majority of people go there for the money, and then they'll call their parents or call whoever it is, and they'll say they love them. But the majority of people will come back and give them the money back. That's awesome. Like it's $50. I don't think it's $50, but maybe $5, $10, something small like that. But the majority of them go back and give them the money. So I mean, just something simple as that. If you have those types of people in your life that you love, like you said, make sure you tell them because they're not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. Or are you?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I talked to my mom. If I don't talk to my mom, I text my mom, and that's saying something because my mother and I had a. I won't say it was not rocky in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's just that, my mother had expectations of me. And then, like I said, my parents came up during the civil rights movement. Sure. So there were a lot of things that my mother was very, very adamant.
Yeah.
Hey, Colin, thank you for joining the show. Nice of you to show up.
Oh, I just opened it up.
My mother was very adamant about me making sure that I took care of in life and things that I had to do in life. And I fought tooth and nail, but I'm grateful for now as an adult. And so, my parents are older now. And even though I didn't always agree with the methodology, I appreciate everything that my mom did for me. So I talk to my mom all the time. I talk to my dad. I talk to my dad when I call because he can't use a phone. So
I got you.
Yeah. So,
but it is funny because I mean, like to what you're saying is like when you're having your own kids and the conversations that you have, like I mean, soon as B-Man got old enough to walk around and open his mouth and some of the stories he tells me, and I first thing I did pick up the phone and say, "Mom, my life is this bad." I'm like, all these stories you're telling me, like. They don't make sense, but he is very adamant, and he holds to it. You can catch him red-handed, but he'll say, "I ain't do it." I said, "Brady, it's just me and you in the house."
Right.
I was like,
right. I can't tell you the number of times I called my parents and apologized when my firstborn was born. I was like, I'm sorry.
That's the first thing I did. That's the first thing I did. Yep, absolutely.
It is a rite of passage. It happens to every new parent. Every parent that says, "Oh, my children are perfect," shut up. Something happened.
Mm-hmm.
They pooped in a diaper, or they heard a bad word you was watching on TikTok or something, and they said it.
Oh yeah.
You got embarrassed about something happened. You just want to shut up.
But his conviction, if he, I mean, even though he's lying, his conviction will pretty much turn you like, well, maybe he didn't do it. I was like, no, we just me and him here. I didn't do it.
say it's lie. Look you in the face and lie to you with their whole chest. There's no way that I'm eating the Cheetos, Daddy. That's not me. I don't even know.
What was that, Eddie Murphy?
What Cheeto looks like? Yeah,
what was that, Eddie Murphy standing there?
What me? I look right in your face.
But me. No, it didn't.
You know what the woman said? Maybe it wasn't you. Anyways, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to get out of here. We do appreciate you guys for tuning in to this week's edition of This Week in SEC Football, Season 2, Episode 12. We will be back. We'll be back later this week. Colin and I have to coordinate what day of the week it is because we still want to get into the teams of the week and the games to look after, things like that. But there's been so much stuff going on with NIL and conference hopping. We couldn't let that pass by. So we appreciate you. And do us a favor, go to all of each and every one of those locations above our heads. That would be the Instagram, the YouTube, the Facebook, the Patreon page, the apparel shop over there in the corner. Like, share, and subscribe. That was annoying. I'm not going to do that anymore.
sounds like a car horn.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you let your people know. As our homeboy DJ Cuba likes to say, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. So, on behalf of myself, Mr. Fingers, and Colin P from the DMV, we appreciate you. We will be back later this week. We'll make an announcement when yours truly will be on tomorrow night for Indie and Unsigned Season 3, Episode 2, where I interview spoken word artist from Delaware, G-Jones. So y'all want to check that out too. We'll catch y'all later on this week. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.